It's about 12 o'clock. You're probably thinking about going to bed, maybe finishing up a little bit of that homework you got for that early class tomorrow, but pretty much your day is over. Unless you work for campus safety. Then, the fun is just beginning. A campus safety officer's day starts out with a little paperwork and some suiting up time. They have many responsibilities that include patrolling campus, locking and unlocking doors, writing tickets, and checking up on any suspicious activity. Although there isn't a lot of crime in the greater Spring Arbor area that the officers have to worry about, the night shift is certainly filled with its share of surprises.
Probably about a month ago, I was working the 2 to 6, which is kind of when the most crazy stuff happens. And it was about 3:30, and I was checking all the academic buildings, and I was walking through the Smith Music Center, and all of a sudden I heard this noise, like scratching at the outside of the window there, and I figured it was just a branch or something, and then all of a sudden there was like this scream. It was like this lady screaming, so I ran to the window, nothing was there. I went outside, went around the whole thing, and I couldn't get anything. So yeah, I'm not really sure what it was, but it was the creepiest scream I've ever heard in my life. It was pretty weird.
Beginning of the year, scary story for me was, since I was a newbie, I wasn't ready for all the excitement and action of Spring Arbor campus security, so I was just driving around behind the field house one early morning at about 3 o'clock a.m. and there was a couple bikes that were parked out by the baseball field, and there's a backpack laying on the ground, so naturally I figured someone was around. So I grabbed my flashlight, hopped out of the car, and started walking, looking around the field, and I saw what looked like a tarp laying out in the field, and I walked towards it, and then two people jumped up, and they looked at me like deer in headlights, and then they just took off running, and so I just let it go. They had to come back for their bikes at some point, and I ended up seeing a couple walking a little bit later, about half an hour later, and I shined my light on the shoes and on her shorts again, and they were identical to what I had seen earlier. And I went and talked to them, and they denied it all at first, but then they ended up telling me it was them and that they only ran for the fun of it, which doesn't make sense to me, but it's the way it is.
So what's the scariest building just on a normal occasion to walk through?
It's a real close tie between Whiteman Gibbs, because it has 3 floors that are pitch black when you enter into them. Long hallways with doors on each side of you. And then there's the music center, which has all kinds of doors everywhere. There's not really a straight through hallway to anywhere. You gotta go up some stairs, back down some stairs.
How do you feel about having to give your peers tickets?
Giving my peers tickets. I try not to figure out whose car is what, because I honestly don't think I would be able to be unbiased in that area. So it doesn't really bother me at all. People have the chance to go talk to Director Fierro about their ticket, and most of the time he's real lenient and just gives them a pass, and we just drove over an owl back there.
What are kind of things you do right before your shift ends here? What are your final checklists, if you will?
Well, we gotta make sure all our normal duties are done. All the doors are locked that need to be locked, or doors that need to be unlocked are unlocked. Also, we can't leave until the next person comes in, because we always need constant coverage, you know, so just in case anybody gets a phone call or needs something done, there's somebody there to do it. So we need to wait for that person. There's also some paperwork that we'll show you doing some paperwork later on, but we need to sign out, make sure I knew who was working, and we need to file a shift report, make sure if anything happened that Fierro knows about it, and the next day. So Those are mainly the main things. Lock up the keys and equipment that we use. So those are the main things that we do at the end of the day.